This is Professor Pelton. This is Chapter 6, Section 1 on annuities. So we did compound interest in the prior chapter, which is where you just make one deposit, right? So things like that are like CDs, right? Where you just put one amount in and over time it grows money. So CDs for a while, they were 5%. So you put $10,000 in and you keep getting 5%. Compounded monthly. An annuity is a little bit different. You usually buy those from insurance companies. There are many different types of annuities. There's IRA, stuff like that, which are kind of like annuity, where you make money deposits on a monthly basis. And what it really comes down to is, do you make the payment at the beginning or the end, essentially, which comes before the two types of annuities, which is the annuity due, or the immediate or deferred annuity, or the ordinary annuity. There's three different names. So when they say any one of these things, they're talking about the same type of thing, basically. And these are the ones that we're going to be doing in this course. The annuity due is the other variation, which is where you pay up front and you get extra interest. And the ordinary annuity you pay at the end of the month, essentially. And you get the interest the next billing period, essentially. So essentially, when an annuity works is the accumulation stage. You're going to put money in, right? So these are used for your ordinary annuity, which you buy from like an insurance company. They're different things. There's IRAs too. You buy these from different places. You put money in every month, and eventually you liquidate them, or which is known as the payout phase. We're going to do a payout phase in another section. Right now, we're just going to do the payment in phase. So again, the way you can think of it is annuity due versus an ordinary annuity is, when is the payment? Is the payment right away? Right, so you notice the payment annuity due is right away, correct? Right, so the payment happens immediately. And the regular annuity, or an ordinary annuity, the payment happens at the end of the month. So initially when you open the account, there's nothing in there, right? And then you make your payment at the end of the month. Okay, so the benefit of the annuity due is you get more interest because there's money in there immediately. So you actually make more, but we're not doing that type. Right, so it's a matter of the number of payments. It's just a matter of n versus n plus 1. That's really the only difference in them. But we're not going to do the annuity dues. We're only going to do regular annuities. So if you Google it online, you see some differences. That's why. Okay, so the formulas are very similar. Right, so you notice these is so we did future value in the previous chapter. So I just changed it to future value of annuity, basically. I just put the extra A on there because you're making many payments. So you notice these formulas are pretty much exactly the same, except for the due one has an extra one of these, which is an interest, right? Because normally it's to the NT, which is the number of times you make compounds, right? But you get an extra one here on the annuity due, but we don't need to worry about this because we're only doing the ordinary ones, right? Which again are called a few different things. They're called deferred annuities or annuity immediate, right? Which is kind of misleading. I don't like that term because it makes it think like you're doing an immediate deposit, which you're not. That's what annuity due does. Okay, all right. So I think what we're going to do here is copy this formula to the next page and do a problem. So I'm going to get rid of, whoops, I'm on the wrong screen, this one, and keep the ordinary one, right? So we're going to do an IRA, which is kind of an ordinary annuity, but not really, but it works for what we're doing. Okay, so you deposit $100 every month into your IRA, earn 6%. So this is continual deposits, unlike a CD like we did in the compound interest in the previous chapter. How much you have in the account after 20 years, what is the interest earned? All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy, paste. So $100 is the payment. You notice a lot of these things are the same from the compound interest, right? The R, the N, the T. It's a very similar formula. It's just modified for many payments, right? So the rate is 6%. And it's per month is the payment, so that's the compounds. So the payments and the compounds actually align. So if you pay quarterly, it'd be 4. If you pay yearly, it'd be 1. So it actually corresponds to that. And we're doing 20 years, which is typically what you do, 20, 30 years, something like that. Because usually these are designed for retirement. Not always, but it a lot of times is, right? So this is not going to work out nicely. They never do. Interest rate problems never do. We also want the interest earned. Okay, which will come from the previous answer. Okay, so I think what I want to do here is I'm going to copy this. You don't need to copy. I'm just going to do it for the sake of the lesson. And I'm going to go to my office.com, right? So office.com. I'm going to log in with my student account, or in my case, the teacher account, either way, which is the same as your Canvas account. Go to Apps, and the Wi-Fi is slow, Excel, and create a blank workbook. Okay, so this is going to be called Math145 Chapter 6 Notes, right? That's what it's called. Okay, and we'll name this down here, rename 6-1, right? Okay, so let's make this bigger. Oh, is it still loading? What is the issue here? I think it's still loading is the issue, because I can't click down here. Well, I wish it would load a little bit faster. Well, that's interesting. Rename 6-2. Well, it's saved to my drive, so let's just close it and open it back up again. So I'm going to close that and go back to my OneDrive. Right, OneDrive. Go to my files, and that should be down here on the bottom. I think the Wi-Fi is the issue. Oh, here we go. There we go, right there, Chapter 6. I'm going to open that in the browser. Okay, yeah, I did. It was slow to load. That's what it was. Okay, so the question is, can I paste in that formula? Oh, I can. Very nice. This is going to save me some time going back and forth trying to show you, right? So I'm going to put each of these pieces in different boxes, right? So the first thing I'm going to put is the 100 here, right? And I'm going to put the, equals 100, equals 100. And then here, I'm going to put equals, parentheses, 1 plus 0.06 to the power of, parentheses, 12 times 20, right? Okay. And we'll put a equals 1 here. And on the bottom, we're just going to put equals 0.06 divided by 12. Okay. Okay. So over here, we'll put the future value of the annuity, right? Equals. Okay, that seems good. Okay, so if I look at the formula here, right, it's going to be this one times, parentheses, this one minus this one, correct? Close paren, all divided by this one, right? So I'm going the 100 times the subtraction of both of those, which I did, and then the whole thing, which I didn't close paren. Here we go. Now that's correct, right? Because it's the entire top divided by the little piece down there, right? So I get this there. Oh boy. I think we messed up. Oh, I see what we forgot. We forgot the divided by 12. That's what we forgot, right? Because it's 0.06 divided by 12. That's the piece we forgot. Ah, there we go. So there's our amount there. So let's go back to our sheet over here. And I'm going to put the dollar amount there we just got, which was $46,204.09, I think. Let's go look back to here to what I had. Yeah, so we got to round up to 9 cents, I guess. Okay, that works. Okay, so that's what we get there. All right, so we want the interest earned. Well, let's think about what that is. So we took in, we have $46,204.09 in the account 20 years later after I retire, right? But I put money in, right? So I was putting $100 in. But how many times did I do that? Well, I put that in every month, which is 12 times, and I did that for 20 years, correct? Right? So if I think about that, that's this amount minus $24,000, right? Right? Because you do 12 times 2 is 24, and you put 3 zeros. Correct? So if I subtract those two, so 46 minus 24 is 22. Oh, I'm going to put a dollar sign there. That's $22,204.09. Okay? So again, it's approximate there, right? Format color orange. Because there is some rounding involved in the penny, obviously. Correct? Never works out nicely, right? So we actually made this much in interest, right? So we actually made almost as much interest as actually the amount that we put in, right? It's almost a 2 to 1. Okay, so the big thing is when you use the spreadsheet, make sure you break these all into pieces, because if you try to put all this in one cell at the same time, it's probably not going to work. So I just put it in little pieces basically, so that I don't have to worry about that. And then parentheses are very important because all of this is the exponent, right? And then all of this, right, is the bottom part of this power. So these parentheses are very important, right? So you have a numerator, denominator. Notice there's parentheses around the numerator. I didn't need it for the denominator because there's only one thing. You can put them there if you want, but if there's one thing that really doesn't matter, it won't change the answer. I think it actually gets rid of them for you too. No, I guess not. So whether I have them or not doesn't really matter, but it does matter if there's multiple things, right? Because we have to maintain the order of operations.